Hello, everyone. Here we are, Anna and Robin. We are here today with the Tipsy Realtor, talking to you not only about learning how to make a cocktail called the Creamsicle, but talking the Canmore Creamsicle, but talking about Canmore properties. So wanting to buy in and around Canmore for a multitude of uses, whether it's to live, to rent out as a short-term rental, to keep as your own vacation home. All of those conversations we're going to have today for those who are looking for that mountainous lifestyle one way or another.
Exactly. And Robin has a great experience in it as she owns her own beautiful resort condo in Dead Man's Flat.
Absolutely. And just when it comes to the short-term rental part, personally, I own 4 short-term rentals in 3 different countries. So certainly that is something that we have a lot of experience with. And that we can talk to from a place of knowledge and not just theory.
But let's start with this drink, Canmore Creamsicle. I am not looking forward to try it because I don't really like orange creamsicle anything. And I'm guessing this is something you found probably dining out in Canmore on a menu.
I think we did actually, yeah.
Because it's very specific. So let's make it.
So we're starting with our shaker full of ice, nice and cold. And then we're going to stick in our 1.5.
Just can grab some snow, from outside.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Put in our 1.5 ounces of vanilla vodka, 1 ounce of cream, 1 ounce of orange juice.
Yeah, that's just like so not Anna drink.
Half an ounce of triple sec.
Yeah. So obviously the creamsicles has that orange thing. So triple sec is that a little bit of orange liquor.
And
I'm gonna take it. I was like, let's go to Mexico, somewhere nice and warm, where there's no snow.
Actually, my mom told me yesterday that I guess WestJet might be having a seat sale on the hot destinations right now.
Oh, like to leave immediately?
All right.
Okay.
So we do have extras, but garnish with an orange slice.
Oh my God,
this is going to be a pretty desserty cocktail. Yeah, you got to drink it as soon as you have it.
Hold on, let me stir mine because it kind of looks disgusting right now.
The curdling.
Oh, no, it's okay. It stirs really nicely, actually.
Yeah, so here is the cocktail.
Yeah.
Orange juice, cream, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's a creamsicle.
Oh my God, it does taste like totally like a creamsicle.
It does actually taste exactly like a creamsicle. That's actually pretty yummy.
It's good. I'm a little weirded out by heavy cream, but you never know what that's gonna do to me.
Yeah, but no, that absolutely tastes exactly like a creamsicle.
The flavor is awesome. Yeah.
You don't even taste the alcohol in it at all. This would be kind of a desserty drink.
Yeah, I kept thinking, like, when do you serve this? Because it's quite heavy. Like, you can't just sit and drink a few of those. It's like a one drink in, kind of. Where I think maybe like finish the dinner instead of like an ice cream or something.
Yeah, like a dessert.
You do that, but it's really delicious.
It is very delicious. Yeah, and like I said, if you got people who don't really like it,
it's not sweet. Like, no, it has lots of flavor, but it's like naturally sweet from like maybe a little bit of juice and cream. Yeah, but it's not it's not sweet.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's
talk about buying in Canmore, Banff. Now, the thing you have to understand is it's actually called the Bow Valley area. So when you're looking at Exshaw, Banff, Canmore, Dead Man's Flats, that is actually called the Bow Valley area. There is a large indigenous reserve just to the east of it that obviously you can't buy on there. But there is property. Harvey Heights is also in there in that Bow Valley area. So those are kind of the areas that when you're looking for. You're looking at Banff, Canmore, Harvey Heights, Dead Man's Flats, and Exshaw. And then there is Lac des Arcs, which is a very kind of unique community that you look in there. Now, the biggest thing I hear about people tell me is they say, I can't buy in the Bow Valley area because it's too expensive. I think you would be surprised as to how affordable some of the properties can be, depending on where you're going. So if you're buying as a non-resident in the areas, you have to understand that Canmore, other than we'll talk about Banff.
Let's define non-resident. It means you don't actually live right in that city. So you can be a Canadian citizen,
correct,
live in Alberta, live in Calgary, for example. But if you actually don't live full-time-ish in Canmore, Banff, anywhere in that Bow Valley area, you consider to be non-resident.
Yeah,
to the area.
It's not your home.
Yes.
Now, the next one is Banff is on a national park. Now, because Banff is on a national park, there are rules in Banff that make it so that you are not allowed to own and residents.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because within the national park, first of all, you don't own the land. It's all on what's called as leasehold land.
Yes.
So the government owns the land, but allows you to buy, sell, and trade the buildings on top of the land.
And usually those leases like 100 years old. Like,
yeah, and they'll renew them well in advance.
Yeah.
So you can mortgage and everything out there. Just know what the difference of the land ownership is. Now, because of that, the government can put in rules to anything that lives on top of the land. And they say that you have to be an eligible resident.
Term.
Yes. And that eligible resident means that they have terms and conditions that allows you to own on top and stay on top of their land. Yeah. And so they're trying to save their land for people who work or have businesses within the Banff area and in the national park zone.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense because it's so small and there's like it can grow anywhere, right? That is what it is. It might redevelop in certain time. But to house all the employees and the people who kind of work and live at the same time, I guess it's just probably enough. Plus, there is some hotels.
Yep.
There's the tourists.
And you can have bed and breakfasts there, but you must reside on the property to do so.
Exactly.
So you have to be an eligible resident to reside on the property, and then you can have a bed and breakfast or a suite that you rent out, but you must live on the property to do so.
Exactly.
So now we go to Canmore, which is actually the most restricted area outside of the national park. So Canmore has a lot of restrictions. They've been doing this slowly over time and increasing them slowly over time because they want to protect the environment. They want to protect housing for the people who do live and work in Canmore. So what they've been doing is if you're a non-resident, and so a non-resident meaning you don't live in the property and work in the town of Canmore, they're charging you 3 times more property taxes than if you were someone who actually lived there and made it your primary residence. So that is a big deal. And trust me, if you think there's a way to skirt around it, there is not, because they do check and they're very thorough and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think also a lot of people that own properties out there, they have this certain pride of ownership, and the Canmore culture is very strong. So there is no such way that you can go around it because the neighbors will be watching, because they do want to preserve their way of life is there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing to know is that that if you're doing a short-term rental in Canmore, they have specific zoning, hotel and tourist zonings that will allow you to do a short-term rental. Anywhere outside of these hotel tourist zonings, you are 100% not allowed to do a short-term rental. It will be shut down. You will be fined $5,000 a day, and they will do everything they can to make sure that you have that property not being used as a short-term rental. Now, if you're in the residence areas and it's just your vacation home and you're not renting it out,
I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god!
I was like, what am I doing? Then what will end up happening is you can use it as a vacation home. You can let your friends and family stay there, as long as you're not charging people rent, and as long as you're not advertising it on Airbnb and VRBO as a rental property.
And it's also, I believe there is a restriction in terms of how long you can stay there as well. Like you cannot actually live there full-time basis either. Like if you buy one of those
in the short-term rental zoning. Yes,
zoning. Sorry. Yes, that's what I meant.
Sorry. In the residential areas, you can stay as long as you want. But yes, in the short-term zoned areas, hotel zoning is 28 days in a calendar year, technically. And tourist zone, I believe, is 70 days in a calendar year.
Yeah. So one of those things, like if you make sure you review what your goals are when you're buying it. If you're planning there to be there once in a while, go out with family, maybe for like an odd weekend, go skiing or something, then definitely look into the zoning, like a hotel restricted zoning, because like 30 days in a calendar year or 70 days in a calendar year will probably accommodate all that. But if you're planning to stay there longer, let's say some people like to go there for like a summer,
Yeah.
right? That would be like a problem. So that's not gonna fit in how long you can stay there.
Now, the other thing to know as well is
Policy-wise.
Deadman's Flats and Eggshaw are part of the MD of Bighorn. Now, the MD of Bighorn does require you to get a development permit, and it does require you to be on a tourist zoned property as well. So if you're buying it to rent it out short term, then you are going to have to get that development permit. You are going to have to get in a zoned area for short-term rentals. I will tell you that Deadman's Flats and has a lot more zoned areas for short-term rentals, and they have a lot more opportunity for it. Eggshaw, not so much as of right now. So keep that in mind.
That would be like, I feel like that's gonna be like the next area once the Deadman's Flat like fill out, and there is a lot of new development is coming in a direction, and on the other side of Canmore, I guess.
Yeah.
That they planning to, I call it to adjust, like to make a border of whatever.
Yeah, and
make a
there
town.
is anticipation. There is no additional taxation on Deadman's Flats and Eggshaw, but there is anticipation that Canmore, because Deadman's is a hamlet, has the ability to expropriate Deadman's, and that may happen over the next 10 years. So keep that in mind as well, as if you're buying there. It may be Deadman's Flats right now, but at this moment in time, Canmore has pretty much built up to the edge or expropriated to the edge of Deadman's. So they do have the ability to start going to the province to try to expropriate Deadman's to make it part of Canmore, which is possible. And they certainly have put their voices in on every development Eggshaw has made, which makes me think that is something that's probably coming here in the next few years.
And I'm sorry, I don't know, like if I just like spaced out, but did you mention that you need to display your business license for the short-term rentals already?
No, I didn't, but that actually is a great point, because you should have your business license up. As
and
I say that,
we see that not only in Canmore Banff area as much, like because that was kind of a new, was like those like a little restricted, but we kind of see it more and more now, like on a display that they allow to do short-term rentals or the legal basement suites, including Calgary. I've seen quite a bit in BC as well. So you have to have that business license being displayed on the unit that you are registered, legally registered and compliant in the area. And of course, the best part to talk about it, if you own a short-term rental, obviously it's great for some income, but also it's also great for writing off some taxes.
Absolutely.
Deductibles, right?
Deductibles. So there is lots of deductibles, but CRA has made it clear that if your short-term rental is not compliant, meaning that it does not have its business license, it is not allowed in the area or the condo complex of which you're in, it is not approved by the area that you're in or anything like that, your short-term rental deductibles are not allowed. So you will have no write-offs if your short-term rental is not an approved or
so you have to be registered in order to write off the taxes.
Yeah. Well, you have to comply with the rules.
Yes.
So, and keep in mind too, is because short-term rentals are actually still a pretty new market, is that the regulations are trying to catch up. The rules are trying to catch up. The cities, the province, the federal government are all trying to catch up. So keep that all in mind as it's happening. You do have to charge GST on your short-term rental. There is a 4% tourism tax, which may be increasing. So all of these things are factors to think about when you're doing your short-term rentals. But let's talk about the deductions, because the deductions are a lot of fun. You can deduct a lot of things, and I'll tell you some of the things that I'm deducting that have been super fun to deduct, that as long as you come up with a really, really reasonable
I like to hear it.
Well, let's start with,
what is it?
Obviously advertising, right? Advertising on your
start with the fun ones. The fun ones? Like I'm learning some stuff.
Okay, so the fun ones are actually going to be in our property down in Crow's Nest Pass. Is I wanted to write off the wine.
Oh.
So what I did is
Who doesn't like to write off the wine?
Exactly. So what I did is I thought it would be a lovely thing for my guests to, because usually like we'll leave like a little gift behind, like a bottle of wine or whatever, and that definitely is a write-off as well. But I thought it would be more fun to put a little wine fridge out that says take a bottle, leave a bottle. And what it does is, because lots of people, when they come to Crow's Nest Pass, it's 2.5 hours away. They arrive there on a Friday night. They just want to sit back, relax, have a fire, drink a glass of wine, and they can replace it tomorrow. We made that possible. So now all the wine we buy in the Crow's Nest Pass, of course, that we're solely putting into the wine fridge, is tax deductible wine, because it was a nice thing for my guests to have that we could supply them. And it is a reasonable, I've already run it through a few different accountants, a very reasonable and logical tax deductible item with CRA.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else? What another
if you
one
like
fun
to
one?
decorate, right? Decorating and stuff is kind of fun.
Well,
so you get all the furniture that you buy and the decorations that you buy. We've added in a record player out in the Crow's Nest Pass. Canmore, we got like blenders, and we got a really cool crib board that's like the mountain range of Three Sisters.
That is for your guests, basically. So like furniture, artwork, kitchen supplies, cleaning supplies, bedding, towels,
shampoo, conditioner, soap.
If you provide any of those things for the guests, that's a totally write-off for you, because it's a hospitality, right?
Your mortgage interest is a tax deductible item.
Yes.
Your property taxes, your condo fees, your utilities. If you have a property manager, those are tax deductible items.
Like if you like, I know you do it yourself, but if you have somebody who's managing your properties, it's also tax deductible service.
If you pretty much any capital costs, capital allowance costs, so there's a deduction in regards to depreciation and stuff of your furniture, of your property, and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that's a good note for the capital cost. Like, some of the things have to be counted as an appreciation. So if you're buying a large, like air conditioning or like big furniture, maybe you even got a car for your guests, or bicycles and things like that. Those go under depreciation calculation. Not like you can't just write it off like because you bought a car. Like it's a little bit different. It's a different, but your accountant will know how to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. The other thing as well is, of course, if your insurance for the property, your business licenses, accounting fees, legal representation if ever required, minor repairs or major repairs.
If you have to go check on your property and you're spending some gas, that mileage is right off as well.
Yeah, be very cautious on that.
You have to just like make sure like you do keep the log, or like actually show that you have been to the property. You have a couple on the list there, non-deductible, which is very interesting taxes there that you cannot write it off. Like I don't have my glasses, but it says GST.
Yeah, GST and the tourism levy are
non-deductible.
Yeah, and mortgage, paying down your mortgage principal is non-deductible. And your personal use stays are non-deductible as well. So a lot of times what they'll do, fines and penalties are non-deductible, the cost of the land. So a lot of times what we'll do is, like when we do our taxes, the tax accountant will always ask us, how many days did you stay at the property? So then we have to tell them how many days we stayed at the property. And then they take those 7 days of use off of all of our bills. So like hypothetically, if you spent 10 days at the property, they're going to break everything down to 365 minus 10 days. So that only 355 days of our stuff is being used, because your personal time at the property is not actual tax deductible time.
That's what happens when it snowed like a whole foot and the dogs are inside.
Exactly. So, but those are non-deductible things. So, your GST, your tourism levy, stuff like that is non-deductible.
So it's been what, a year?
Cleaning fees are tax deductible.
Yes. So has it been a year or 2 years now that you own your condo in Deadman?
So I've owned Crow's Nest Pass since 2000. Well, I've actually owned it since 2005. Yeah. I've only Airbnb'd it since 2017. Okay. Costa Rica, I've owned since 2021 and Airbnb'd it the whole time. Mississippi, I own since 2023 and Airbnb it the whole time. And then Dead Man's
Dead Man's
Flats
Flat,
was
yeah.
2024,
Yeah.
December of
So only a
2024.
couple of years ago, Robin got one of those, by the way, beautiful condos with amenities, like,
Tons of amenities.
and it's
Yeah.
super close to Canmore. By the way, there is no Uber, so you have to grab a taxi. But for our local viewers, right, who is interested in a mountain style living or potentially making money through those resort properties, would you say, was it worth it? Do
Oh,
you
God,
find
yeah.
that do you ever struggle finding people to stay in your
No.
condo? Does it cover your bills? Like, what would your personal feedback would be on having that?
So Dead Man's is probably our highest performing Airbnb out of all of our Airbnbs. We actually have an issue in Dead Man's is that we have a hard time getting into our own place because it does rent out.
They cannot go.
So yeah, it rents out so steadily, and it rents out for so much money that I am honestly shocked people pay it.
Yeah. It is gorgeous.
It is.
It's one of the newer, beautiful condos, very well staged. Thank you, Trisha.
Yes.
Yes, and it comes with amenities like you're sitting literally in a hot tub and a pool outside with a mountain view in a winter. Like,
but one thing to know is you can get
amazing.
into Dead Man's Flats in the high 400s and low 500s.
Yeah.
So that's actually starting getting into those areas. Is you're getting into those areas around $400,000 and $500,000. It is possible. So it's a lot cheaper than what people think.
Yeah, and it's only like 15 minutes to like downtown Canmore.
Yeah.
Like it's like super close. Like I think it's even less, maybe 10.
Yeah. And everything is growing. The amenities are growing and stuff like that. And I do think that eventually Dead Man's with the developments that are coming will be a lot like a little Whistler Village. So it'll be kind of cool that way.
It is magnificent there. So if you guys have any more questions about owning the property, vacation, short term, or for your personal use, especially in what do we call it? Bow Valley,
the Bow Valley
area, which is Canmore, Banff, Actual, and Dead Man's Flats,
and Harvey Heights.
And Harvey, I actually don't even know where that is.
Harvey Heights is north. Is when you go along the highway, it's west of Canmore. So Harvey Heights is in between Banff and Canmore.
Oh, okay. That's like super tiny. Yeah. So if you guys ever interested to sit down and what means, like maybe you just wanted to buy this investment for your family to keep, because like, let's put it this way. That area is going to just get more expensive and more luxurious and most in demand because of the proximity to Calgary, to the mountains.
And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah. And what is like, it's a best way to invest your money that you can pass it on to your family, to your kids.
So here's the one thing actually I'll tell you is that when we talk about our short-term rentals, we're not just passing on assets to our kids. We're passing on income to our kids. So for us, it's not just about maintaining the short-term rentals so that our kids can inherit houses. It's maintaining the short-term rentals. So if we pass away, our kids will have the income of the short-term rentals to add to their income. Yeah. So their lives are easy.
And a mountain getaway that they probably cannot afford.
And like, then, on top of that, there is something called home exchange where you can exchange these houses with other people around the world and get free accommodations every time you travel, which is a whole nother different show.
Exactly. Yeah. We maybe should make that show. Yeah. Because we both love it. Robin introduced to me and I got like totally like sucked in.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to free accommodations when you travel.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay, great.
So next week,
what are we doing next week? Yeah.
We are talking about the watermelon sour and how water damage and how it can water damage and how you can deal with it, because water damage is quite horrible. And you'd be shocked how many times it comes up in our deals where they're like, there's a leak. Yeah. And then it's always funny. People are like, well, are they going to fix it?
I'm an expert on it's going to be Anna's show on water damage.
When they sit there and they say, well, is a seller going to fix a leak? Yes, of course. You can't have a leak. Just keep going. Leaks are bad. Fix a leak.
Yes.
So usually that would be definitely like something we'll talk about in the next show as to why water damage is so significant and why it is so important.
And you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. That's going to be first show in April.
I will be the first show in April.
Which means we're going to be giving our amazing prize. And what are we giving away is, cold bowls. So basically you can make ice cubes.
Big balls and I cannot lie.
They are perfect for your like old-fashioned Negronis, anything that you don't want to be diluted. So the ice bowls. And the multi-tool. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. I tried fixing it today.
Okay, that's like a crazy freaking looking tool, but it's great too for you to like take it anywhere except airport.
Yes, don't put it in your check on.
Yeah, so it's a muddler, it's a stir, it's a measurement. That it has like a peeler, a knife, a bottle, like screw opener. I'm gonna break my nails here. And what else it has? It has
She's so delicate.
no, I can't open those things. That's like not Anna friendly thing. A rimmer, and so I said the muddler, the stir. Hold on, there was like the the zester. That's the one I'm the most excited about. It's like if you got the zester and you like camping, like it's a luxury cocktail camping.
And it's got the stir.
Yeah.
And the knife.
Yes. And a strainer. There's a little like remember the thing? Yeah, the strainer is like that little guy over there in the middle. So it's like a multi-tool, which is cool. Like, you know, can you like imagine making like a quality
and if
cocktails?
you kept this like when you're traveling and stuff like that, like
not in the airport.
Not in don't put it in your checked luggage, not your carry-on.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But it is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like so how do you win it? You're gonna follow us on social media platforms, obviously Facebook Live, Robin Moser and Associates, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. I said that already. So
tell them like, love, share, show, tell your friends.
Yes. So sorry, I thought I did. So love, like, and share, show to all your friends. If you guys love the cocktail, tag your friends and say, hey, you have to check out this cocktail. If you guys have an amazing idea for cocktail and a real estate show, please put it in the comments and your name get entered twice to win this awesome
prize. The reason why it's important is because great minds drink alike.
Oh yeah, that's why we also work and drink.
So if you know anyone who's looking at buying or selling a home, has questions about it, wants to know more about investing in real estate, your neighbor, your family, your friend, your coworker, anyone you like, anyone you don't like, please make sure that they give us a call. We'd love to help them out because we are here to make sure that you know what you don't know, and to make sure that we answer all the questions about the things that you already are thinking about.
Amazing. Stay warm out there, Calgary, and drive safe.
Thanks. See you later.
Bye.